those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.
Warning, this podcast is not suitable for men, women, children, pets, neighbors, imaginary friends, any friends, goats, ducks, sheep, farm animals in general. Definitely not your mom. Your dad might laugh and then punch you in the face, leaving actually nobody who really should listen to this. If you're unsure of what you're about to listen to, please turn it off and walk away. You'll be a better person for it. That said, let's get on with the show. Welcome to this special actual play of GarTar, featuring the ICRPG role-playing system. I'll be the confused GM, Murder Hobo, and the players, Tony Fanning Asmodeus as Gil, the porn shark man, and Bliss playing the part of Bertay, the shit-throwing flying monkey. Just like to say a special fuck you to Matt Stark for the no-show. Love you, bro. Pretty much set the standard right out of the gate for what you're about to get into. Seriously, you might just want to turn it off and walk away. All right, here we go. Welcome to GarTar. Let me tell you a story about a world primitive yet futuristic, hedonistic yet virtuous, a world of serene beauty and rampant violence. Creatures big and small will gnaw on you both inside and out. A world where vast deserts will dry the meat off your bones, and lush forests and swamps will drown you on a rainy day. A world forsaken by virtuous gods, and left only to be ruled by the deviant and mischievous. A child's play toy, one moment loved and caressed, the next tossed aside, lonely, cold, and forgotten. This world of chaotic, sensual beauty is known as GarTar. Our tale begins long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Captain's log, stardate 110517. The Dune Globe has taken several hits, and its dilithium crystal meth engines have run out of fuel. Gil, a large shark man with gnashing teeth and large flippers, and his friend Birdie, a flying monkey janitor with propensity to throw fecal matter at his foes, have been charged with retrieving the dilithium crystal meth from the planet's surface. When we last left our adventurers deep in the temple of the Anagav, they were trying to decide whether or not to add the ultimate effort to the damage attack or the attack roll. Let's join them and see what they decided to do. Questions?
You know what? We'll add it to damage.
Yeah, boy!
Because, that might end this quick.
Okay, and you're going to shoot the Anagav in the back of the temple?
Yep.
That is your game plan?
That's right.
Oh, no way!
Nice.
What the hell? What is going on here? You critically duffed that. Oh my god. So you were rolling that as damage? That was your game plan?
Nah, well, I was using the beer for damage, and I didn't hit. So, yeah, I guess a banana blows up in my face for 12, and I die.
Oh, man. I don't know if I want to be that harsh on you, but, okay, so roll the d12 for first of all, and let's see what kind of a damage that we get here. Oh, do you not have one on the table? Get launched somewhere else?
That banana's going right up my ass. I know it is.
Go build character.
Okay, so it's only a 3 added effort. You shoot your banana gun with precise, or with what you assume to be precision and accuracy, and as this banana flies through the air, just as it's about to make contact with the Anagav,
boomerang.
It opens. The Anagav opens wide,
and you can almost see inside of it, and there's a guy in there who's eating a banana, and your banana hits him, and it just tears off half of his head, and he just kind of like, oh, and you just see him die in there, and he falls over holding the banana that you've just fed him. I don't want to be mean to you guys. There's still much more to come.
Oh God.
Birdie is done.
I'm gonna try and bite more tentacles. These tentacles gotta go away. Gotta chew them up.
Really
that would be a 3. That missed.
Okay, so you're just making wild chomps as these long tendrils slap around and evade your deal. So my turn. Let's see if I can't do some damage. I'm going to double attack Gil, because Gil's got that shield and he seems to be doing all right. Well, that's a 6 and a 14. The 14's going to hit. I will quickly roll my damage. 3 points. You absorb it with your shield and rotate that from a 3 to a 2, and we're right back to Birdie's, right back in the action, feeling a little depressed, a little deprived, a little misguided with his banana gun. He thought it was going to be so cool, but it seems to be stinking.
It does, man.
Shooting that gun again, is that your game plan?
Yep. That's all we got at the moment here. I mean...
You're just shooting
I can't
bananas.
pick a lock unless, I'm trying to unlock her hard. Oh, God, no. I failed to bring, the emergency douche kit from one of the bathroom facilities, and I don't see one here that I can hit for a tampon or anything.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got a fire.
You notice on the bottom... Oh,
damn!
Shit, son! Guess what you get back? There you go.
Oh, a beer?
Yep, so that's going to add... Now you can totally add this ultimate effort die. Actually, I don't... That's... the beer indicates the heroic coin. But because you hit with a 20... that it just goes to your damage. It's not like a heroic coin where you can add it to whatever. You just automatically add ultimate effort to your die. So you're going to roll your weapon damage, which is D6, and you're going to roll your D12.
Which is already up there, which is a 4, and we'll add a 12. There's that.
I do like the Pirates cannon. It would be so cool for a Pirates game. Oh, so a whopping 5 points of damage. I feel crushed all of a sudden.
You deleted the anagaff.
Yes, I did. It's back. It is back. There she blows. Now, it had 17. I'm going to prop it right back in place, and I'm going to lock it so that I can't just automatically delete it. And you did 5 points, so that puts it down to 12 health. And this thing just freaks out from the back of the temple. It's making its queef noises. It squeals a bit. And I'm just to be a dick, I'm going to go Control-C, Control-V. You hit it so hard that through the sands right up behind you, another one pops out, and this one's going to try and lash out at you on its next turn. But that's what you happen from the ultimate damage. This anagaff just kind of comes to life, and it sends out this third tendril to, it's gone into protection mode. Gil.
Damn! I can't bite nothing! These tentacles, it's almost like somebody lubed them up.
Oh, they are a little
greased up. Can't get any purchase.
Yeah, they are a little greased up. 2 on Gil, 1 on Monkey Man. Farthest one away is on Monkey Man, 13, and a 10 and a 3. So the 13 is going to hit Birdie for a whopping 1 point of damage as this thing comes up out of the floor of the temple. It just sort of catches your foot a little bit, maybe gives your little ankle a twist or something like that, and it lets you know that it's there. The other 2, however, the 10 and the 13, I believe, are both misses on Gil, and then rotation value 1. So when it comes around to my turn next time, she's going to be death and destruction, right back to Birdie.
All right, so with my big heavy gun, can I sit there and butt stroke this this beef shutter?
Absolutely. You're going to try and hit it with the butt of the gun? Is that what your deal is?
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to use it for a strength roll, kind of a...
Yep. Basically, we're going to give it the old
college try.
Maybe it'll work because I said it's a butt stroke.
A 12, so that's going to be enough to hit it. So you smash it for 2 points of damage, and that's Birdie's round. Gil.
All right. Had enough of you tentacles! start biting really fast. Maybe, Yeah!
Pretend you're eating a beef sandwich.
Oh,
Woo!
shit, son. All right, which one of these things do you glom onto?
This one.
Okay. Oh, and
Actually, is this
full on.
beef or is it?
And I did 15 to it.
You just go into like shark frenzy mode or something like that. It's just
feeding frenzy.
Chomp, chomp. This tentacle just like it just deflates on the ground, and you hit it with such force that you can feel the entire temple start to rumble again. As it rumbles and shakes, you guys are now going to have to make a dexterity to see if it can do any kind of on a successful dexterity check, which is 12, because that's the score of this map. You guys won't sustain any damage, or I'm going to roll this d4. Actually, I'm going to tell you how much damage you can take, because I'm going to roll it right now. 3 points of damage if you fail.
And I rolled a 16.
Cool, so that's a success. You managed to dodge out of the way, maybe pick up the deflated limb labia thing that's laying in front of you, and you're golden. And a 19.
I got a 19.
So sweet, 2 successes. You both managed to sort of pop out of the way at the last minute as this wave of blast percussion shoots across the deal. Re-roll my threat timer. Oh, 4 rounds. You guys are getting lucky here. And I've done my attacks. It's back to Birdie. It's a fast action game too, right? Like now that we're into it, and
it's going quick.
Like, yeah.
The only thing I think that's and I'm just going to put this in real quick, that I think the major difference from the Savage Worlds version is the characters had way more options of things they could do.
Yeah. Yep. Well, once you find loot and stuff like that, and you start looting out your characters, I think you're going to find that you have more options.
Yes, I think that is the case. I agree. Yeah.
So let's go for fuck it. Let's throw this banana up in that fucked up vagina thing sideways. Oh, bam! Come on! Yes! Oh!
You
nice.
What? Oh my god! Wow, 20 and a 6.
Yes, you hit it right in the clip.
Right in the frickin' fleshy nub of doom. So
nice.
A total of 11 points?
Yep.
Wow. This down to 1. Well played, sir. That banana just it hits this thing with such force, like it almost like folds in on itself, and it slowly like starts to pull and make its way down inside of this cave that's in the back there. Gil, what are you gonna do? Wow, that was a brutal shot.
I think the creature itself is. I've got access to it. I can run past the tendril. I'm gonna do a whole Leroy Jenkins, dive at it, and bite it.
Cool. Okay, so you're going to ignore the one that's on you, and I'm going to just do a simple little attack of opportunity, and I rolled a 2, so it missed, and you're free to like dash into the back there, and I don't know what you're going to do. You're just going to dive into the center of this hole and just start chewing on it?
Yep.
All right, have at her.
Oh, I can see it now. The temple spasms in glorious wrath.
18.
That's an unnatural 20.
All right.
And
18.
1 point of damage.
Beautiful. Okay, so if I unlock this thing and delete it, as you climb inside of it, explain or just describe the destruction that you have wrought upon this thing.
I see that he hit the elusive spot, and I finally see that it kind of squirts out a little bit of like pussy juice when he hits it. So I run forward, I dive at that spot, and I just do a shark death roll after I grab a hold of it.
Nice. Yeah, the Anagav sort of rolls in on itself. It becomes deflated. You can almost feel the life essence just drained from it as it falls down deep inside this pit that's at the back. And there's these tendrils that are hanging out. They're just kind of like laying there flaccid and dead. I'm trying to find in the PDF where the loot is, which is one thing that I forgot to do. I should have given you guys loot right out of the gate for defeating the whatchamacallits. Maybe they dropped the chest as they took off or something. But and once you got to town, they could have given you something.
I mean, we did actually surrender our seed willingly.
Well, the awards are like, there's potential awards for your class. I've still got the class sheet for mine here.
Yeah, you would. That would be like a milestone.
Yep, milestones. I can get a heart stone, which gives me 1 extra heart. Impervium plating, Make a strength attempt to shrug off single attack. Pulse boots. Field stimulator. Ion ammo module. There you go. It's
somewhere in this bag. You should find. There's the archer right there, so you can scroll down and you can see what they've got. Milestone, Berserker Ring, Flare, designate a hit target. Allies do double effort against it. Wow, that would be super cool, because that happens every time. Grapple arrow, you can anchor to the ground. Steel bowstring.
I like the pulse boots. For me, while you're messing with that, I'm going to go use the men's room real quick.
Yeah, I got to take a whiz too here. I don't know how you determine, I guess, because... Okay, all right, Bliss, I'm going to be back in 2 seconds because I'm going to take a whiz myself, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back. Whew.
Start a reward of a speed quiver. What?
Okay, that was refreshing. Cursed loot, shabby loot, basic loot. How about you both give me a D100 roll, because there's 100 items in here. We're going to, both of you can roll out of the basic loot for defeating the Spoogelings right out of the gate, which is just going to be a standard D100 roll.
I was going to say, where's the D100?
In this bag here. You just pull that one out, that one out.
Okay.
Select them both and just give them a toss.
So, reading them left to right, 12.
Where did you roll them? Did you shoot them out into the table somewhere?
Yeah, well, I can put them in the cannon, that's right. I think it just kind of, because I picked them up and they had a 1 and a 2 when I picked them up.
Okay, so when you guys were fighting the whatchamacallit, I should have given you this. Turn undead, wisdom power, wisdom 11-1. For each point of effort, turn 1 heart of undead for 1 turn. That's a basic loot item. I'm assuming that 39 just says turn undead. Wisdom power? Oh, I gotcha. I got you, mister. Okay, so this would be a scroll that you find. Just a piece of parchment laying on the ground, and then I would describe it like, you know, you find this tube that one of them has dropped as he runs off into the desert, and unfurling it, it's covered in these magic ruins, and you can make a wisdom power check of a difficulty of, it would have only been 10, and if you learn the, or if you succeed, you would learn the spell Turn Undead.
All right.
And Tony, what did you roll? 12? Or did you roll
12.
I got an 18.
So an 18, so that's a success. Okay, so then you would just put in your inventory or something like that under equipment gear or something like Turn Undead. That Turn Undead 39, Wisdom 11-1. For each point of effort, turn 1 heart of undead for 1 turn. So that actually makes sense. So if you have like a bunch of undead that are damaged, maybe they got 3-4 hit points, you could actually turn 3 or 4 of them. So you would roll your wisdom. And then Tony rolled a 12 for Gil.
Yep.
Gil, you're going to like this one. And it would have been sweet if I would have brought this out earlier. But one of them had a mithril vest, a piece of armor.
Nice.
None, but I'm not sure. But it does say subtract 2 from all weapon damage done against you.
Oh, nice.
Not bad, eh? So back to this story. Now that you've killed or whatever it is you've done to this Anagav, you can see the dilithium crystal are down in the bottom of this pit. But also in the bottom of this pit, you find like this hard metal case that is locked. Oh my! I have a conflict or resolution of 4. You guys can do 10 effort of sort of strength or mining or whatever it is. Give me your best roll to determine how you're going to mine this dilithium crystal. Actually, I'm going to say this conflict resolution timer is going to be for at the end of every session, you're supposed to roll it, and in 4 rounds, we fade out. So, you have 4 rounds left now that you've destroyed this thing to explain to me what it is you're going to do. Birdie, what's the haps? The Anagav is dead. There's dilithium crystal meth in the bottom of this pit that must have somehow mutated this whatever kind of creature it was, and you notice that there's a chest in the bottom, a long metallic footlocker type chest.
Oh, the chest might be helpful depending on what's in there, so I better unlock that with my lockpick set.
Okay, so are you going to jump down into this chest or into this pit and fiddle around with the lock? Or because it's quite a deep pit, I should probably maybe set the scene that it's about maybe 10 feet deep or 20 feet deep.
It's a good thing I can fly.
You know what? It absolutely is a good thing you can fly. You jump off the cliff, flap your wings, and land safely in the bottom of this cliff, or this bottom of this pit, not a problem. The chest, as you're fiddling around with it, is, we're going to say that this is a 1-heart chest. The lock on this thing has been sort of deteriorated. It might be a little bit rusty, it's covered in lip slime, so to speak. So you're going to make this dexterous check, plus your, your masterful picks. Actually, your tool picks, there we go, +3. So a 5 on a difficulty of, what is this? This is going to be a 12. So let's see. I'm just trying to do the math in my head here. If this map is a 12, that chest is a 12. I could say that because it's in the bottom and it's kind of rusty and shitty, it would be an easy roll. But because you already have all of these skills and abilities attached, I'm going to say standard roll. So you're going to get, it's a 12. You need to be a 7 with your equipment gear.
All right. Mug.
Beautiful.
I'll take a 12.
Excellent. All right. And because you have your tool lock picks, so these lock picks give you a +3. That's going to be basic work. So you're going to have to roll your D4.
Okay.
Where this mechanic is really cool is right about now, because I could be like, you guys hear some shuffling from the front of this cavern, and I could start moving in my spoogelings or whatever. And now, like, this is where the rounds and the timers are really going to kick in, because what are you going to do? Go fight these guys, or are you just going to keep screwing around with that, trying to break some of the whatchamacallit? But we're not going to go that. It's 128, and we're just going to sort of wrap this deal up. So you did how much effort? 1 point of effort. Okay, so you just make a note of that yourself, that there's 9 left on this, and we're going to go right into Gil's turn.
I am going to probably... Yeah, I'm going to start mining the dilithium crystal meth.
Okay, make me a strength check, difficulty 12. The target
I lost
number.
my fucking D20 again. What the hell happened to it? But, oh well. Let's see. I'll just get a new one out. Right? Nope, that's a D8.
Just remember that those ones...
There's a D20. All right.
A 15, so that's going to be a success. So apply some basic work to this. See if you can't get a chunk.
Now, is it basic work or with my tools? Oh, no, I had a +3 with tools to Starship Craft. Not for the... Never mind. Okay, so the D4. Got it. Sometimes this cannon thing just does not fucking want to work.
Yeah, like it'll suck them in. Okay, so... we're going to do roll value is going to turn down to a 3. You have 3 rounds before this game.
Oh.
Did you figure it out? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I fingered it.
I like that you fingered it. The walls of this pit, now that this this Anagav has gone away, they seem to be a little shaky now that you're down there kind of looking around. It might be a good time to, or you might sort of realize that as you're down there, that, little flakes are falling off of the bottom of this pit. Birdie, you're going to make another attempt to open this chest.
That's the plan. Boom.
18 and another 1 point, so that thing's down to 8. Gil, you're going to try and smash some more.
Yep, trying to break loose the crystal. Whoa, I don't know how I got 2D4 in there. We'll just go with the one on the left. I don't know what they've read yet.
3 points.
But it wasn't a success.
Oh, no, it wasn't?
No, it was only a 5. I assume I could get my strength added to this, trying to rip this thing out of the ground.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's actually a 7. But
yep, you're down there pounding away on this crystal, trying to get it off. I guess because you're not really much of a miner, you don't have quite the skill at it. Maybe you're just sort of whacking away at the dirt and shit like that, and it's not really working out too well for you as you just.
I'm hitting it with one of my Hydra spanners. It's not working.
Right, you're trying to bite it or something like that. My turn. Rotation value 2. Let's say that instead of this being the game ender, that in 2 rounds the walls of this pit are going to collapse. I like that much better. Birdie, what are you doing?
All right. We are going to try and hit this chest one more time at least. Boom, shakalaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a success and 3 points. So that puts that chest down to 5 hearts left. 2 rounds left to go. Gil, you see Birdie over there. He's trying hard to pick this lock. He wants to know what's going on. And you're just smashing away at crystals, looking at Birdie, looking at the walls, and shit's about to get real.
Yeah.
Did you roll a 2 and a 1?
A 2 and a 1, I think.
Okay, so do you want to explain to Birdie the situation that you find yourself in right now?
I'm over here just flailing away at this like crystal meth, trying to get it to break loose, and I've got my hydro spanner out, and I'm just beating on it. It's not working, and I'm starting to cuss up a storm, getting that usual look like I'm going to bite something soon.
Okay.
I'm hoping there's some mining tools in this frickin' box.
All right, I just flipped over my timer. She's down to a whopping 1. Birdie. Yes, it's Birdie's turn.
Get rich or die trying. Come on, 20.
A 5 and a 1, so that is not a success. Okay. You're trying to get these keys in this lock. The rumbling in the dirt, it's falling down, it's making clouds of dust and stuff like that. It's getting in your eyes. You just for whatever reason, maybe it's an odd angle, but you're just not as dexterous as those lock picks and stuff. Oh, even with your pluses, really still aren't helping.
He has
you
a plus 5. It's a 10. Oh, it's difficulty 12.
Yeah, it's a difficulty 12. Yep. So that puts it back to Gil's turn. What's Gil smashing away?
Yeah, this time. So I position myself. I kind of like back up, trying to get it, and in the whole process on my backswing, I hit the wall.
Yeah, you hit the lodestone. Is really what happens, and huge pieces of rock and other debris start falling from the roof of this cavern and these walls. Rather than have this thing cave in on you, because really you need to get this dilithium crystal, and Birdie's not fucking helping the situation much as he fucks around with his chest. I'm gonna have you guys make dexterity checks in order to avoid falling debris instead of collapsing. So yeah, I'm assuming if there was more people. So yeah, you would just have to, if you fail your dex check, you're going to take 1 point of damage from falling rocks.
Failed.
So your shield absorbs that?
Well, I assumed since combat's over that I probably would have turned it off, so I'll take the damage.
Seriously,
okay.
I had to get a 3. For real. Okay,
so Birdie's going to take 1 point of damage?
Yep.
Does that signify your whole 10 points?
Oh, one set of whole 10 points, that's correct.
When these are all completely unchecked, you go into the dead or dying mode. There is a lot of dice rolling in this game, right? Oh, you guys got lucky. You got a big 4. Birdie, you're going to continue to pick on this lock in these weird and precarious environment that you're finding yourself in?
Nah, I'm gonna pick up this chest and slam it into the dilithium crystal.
I love it. Okay, so if you hit this dilithium crystal, because this is a rather big, bulky chest, but I can tell that you're getting frustrated. If you smash this chest successfully into the proper crystal formation, I'm going to let you do weapon damage on the dilithium crystal and break off what you need.
Boom.
Not quite enough.
Oh.
Do you get strength? So no, you do. You get strength. You get your strength bonuses to that. So that's going to be a 13, and you got to beat a 12. All right, so roll some weapon damage. Roll us a d6. Tony, do you remember how many hearts or how much effort it's going to take to break away the dilithium crystal? I think we were at 8.
I've done 3 to it.
Okay, so we have 7.
7 more.
Mugga, don't go, bud.
Nice. So there's 3 left, and that puts us to Gil's turn. That's
a good idea. I rip the chest out of his hand, and if he doesn't let go, I'll swing it with him attached to it and do the same thing.
Fantastic.
I let go.
Let her rip. Beat a 12. Add your strength. Natural 20. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, fantastic. So,
hold on. Hold on. I'm going to add my extra effort to this. Mm-hmm. And when I add extra effort, because of my special tool belt that I hiked up before I grabbed it, I get a +3.
Yes, fantastic. Wow. Okay, so I'm picturing you. You look over, you're like, hey, that's a good idea, and you grab onto the opposing handle, and Birdie doesn't let go, and Birdie's becomes the extra effort as you grab onto this chest, and you bring it around and connect fully with this piece of dilithium crystal meth. Birdie attached just adds this extra bit of strength to it, and it just pulverizes these crystals, and they break loose.
And the chest breaks open.
And the chest breaks open. Inside the chest, because this is the end of this instant, I'm going to go to the epic loot table, and let's see what kind of shit you guys can roll off the epic loot. So give me
oh, that's great.
a D100.
Okay.
53. This is so cool. Do you know what? You open this chest up and you look inside, and in this small, hermetically sealed package is a sandwich. You can describe the most delicious looking sandwich that you've ever seen, heard, smell of, or any of that. But that is what is in this thing. There's this strange sandwich that it looks absolutely delicious. 53 enchanted sandwich. Food never ages or spoils. It has 5 bites, and 1 bite heals 1d8 hit points. When you finish the entire sandwich, you gain +1 to your constitution.
Nice.
Isn't that freaking cool? Let me go select the text.
Enchanted sandwich.
Control C.
That's going to be a, what was it, the Billy Crystal, an MLT, a mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Where the mutton is real lean. It's nice and kosher.
Everything seems to be coming together.
That's cool.
5 bites heals 1d8 hit points worth of damage. Dude, you're like a fucking machine, Tony. That belt thing makes all the difference in the world.
He's a fucking shark. What do you expect?
Yeah, tough and rugged, man. That's amazeballs.
Oh, that's great.
I expected him being a shark this to be like a chum sandwich.
Right? It's got like live fish and shit, or octopus bits in it. Bliss.
And the occasional license plate for flavor.
What did you roll, Bliss?
I did not roll because I had to run downstairs. But if someone would load up my cannon with my dice and fire it off for me, I'll trust you.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to let Tony do it so that there's no disparaging the rules here. Here's the one die and here's the other die. Select them both. Press the button like you do. Squeeze that fire trigger, my man, and let's see what we get. Fire away. 63. Oh, wow. There is this crazy, weird-ass, unusual-looking suit. Now, it's called STYLL, and I'm assuming that's a race or something like that in Warp Shell or something. But there is a suit of armor in there. It's pristine in every way imaginable. It totally looks like you could just pop into this thing and suit up. It's called Still Suit of Armor. It gives you +4 armor. You don't have to wear. It says wear no other armor. Breathe anywhere. Never hungry, and you heal 2 hit points per round. That is fucking insane. I'm gonna put this over.
That's crazy.
X, and I just pasted it into the extra whatchamacallit, and then that's what it is, man. That gives you like a shit ton of freaking armor. Loot bonuses, you get 2 armor from loot bonuses, so your shield pack, maybe you can't wear any other armor with it. I don't know if a shield is considered armor. Maybe it just takes you from, I would have to look into that and see. Okay, so anyways, gentlemen, you guys managed to get your crystal meth, and you found some sweet and some epic loots out of this deal. So your journey back to Hoville is uneventful, and the ladies at Hoville, after mustering a good night's rest and trying to seed as many of them as you can, they follow you out to your ship. Now, it's been a couple of days, so the nanobots have completely cleaned up your ship. It's tip-top, everything's fixed, up and running, and you guys can hop in it and say your goodbyes to the ladies and fly your way back up to the Doom Globe and apply the crystal meth, and everybody lived happily ever after. We're going to end it there.
All right, everybody, we got a great show for you tonight. It's time for Straight Talk with Tony. Smash the record button, and I don't even really remember what the hell I wanted to talk to you about, other than the ICRPG GarTar adventure that we went on the other day, where you played the Shark Man. What the hell was your character's name again, Tony?
Gil. Gilbert Finkelstein.
That's right.
Gil for short.
And Gil wanted to be a freaking porn star.
Yep, a lowly mechanic who wanted to be a porn star.
Oh, that's too funny. So, question number 1, your first foray into ICRPG. Let's start with character creation. You had an idea for what you wanted to make for a character, and bringing that idea into ICRPG without even really knowing any of the rules, because I'm pretty sure that I just sort of sprung this on you, and I don't know if you have the material or if you've read it, but I don't think that you have. So when I laid out the material inside of Tabletop Simulator and showed you, okay, we're probably going to take this archetype, which, did we make you the tank? We made you the tank, didn't we? We did.
Yeah, it was interesting. I've never played or even read any material on ICRPG. Actually, the only ICRPG even exposure I've had is listening to you talk about it.
Nice. I blow a lot of smoke up that game's ass, to tell you the truth, because I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
So character creation, nice and easy, right? I mean, it made sense.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was nice and simple.
Extremely simple, very streamlined, and it doesn't matter what character concept you have. There's some way to build it.
They've taken out all of the fighting, the shooting, the driving, the swimming, the climbing, all of that stuff, and you just basically use the 6 attributes: your strength, dexterity, charisma, wisdom, intelligence. What else is there? You just use those. So if you're going to make a shooting roll, you just make an agility roll on the target of the map, which is pretty straightforward, right? Like, talk about keeping it simple and stuff.
Yep, it's as simple as it can get. And in occasions, without loot, which we found out near the end of our adventure, it can be too simple if you don't get your loot.
Yeah, so let's talk about that while we've got you here. So that was kind of the one thing that we sort of figured out near the end of the game, right? Is like that there came a point, I think, when we were going into the Temple of the Anagav, that you're like, you're only rolling so many dice to play this game. Weapon damage is 8. Magic damage... No, sorry. I want to make sure I get that right. Weapon damage is 6, and magic damage is 8.
Gee,
and then,
you're the one who's supposed to know this game.
I'm trying to. And then ultimate effort is when you roll a 20, you get to add a d12 to whatever it is that you're doing. But yeah, we were like trying to roll into the Temple of the Anagav there, and I don't know if it was you that brought it up or if it was Bliss, but one of you was like, man, this is just kind of like sort of boring because you just keep rolling the same thing over, and there was no extras. How did you feel about that? Fill me in, Tonester. Tell me how it was.
Well, it was me that brought it up, and yeah, at any time I play any game, role-playing game, I want to have multiple options for my character to do. I want to be able to, interact with the environment. I want to be able to interact with, even in a fight scene, I don't always want to do the same attack over and over and over. And that was one thing I noticed that in ICRPG, because it didn't have anything really as far as talents or skills or anything like that, that all that stuff is generated from loot. The extra ideas of how to attack, you get this new interesting attack if you do this, if you have this item, so on and so forth.
So
if you don't have that, you have to be extremely imaginative in what you're doing. But really, at the end of it all, every round, you're rolling the same dice. You're rolling the same thing. You're pretty much going to fall into a pattern of doing the same thing over and over if you don't have the loot.
And that's exactly right, which is really what spurred me to think to myself, when I watched Hankerin play Flight of the Red Sword, I think it's called, there was every room that he went into when something happened or when they attacked a monster, like this plasma thing would go off, the sun would explode, or, create this, whatever it was doing. And every time something happened, there was loot to be found. There was a treasure box of some kind, and something came out of that treasure box. And if you hadn't brought up the fact that it's like, this is kind of silly because I just keep rolling a d6 over and over again, that I probably would have never even really realized that I should actually bring in the loot. So, that said...
Yeah, we should have at least had loot when the Sploogelians...
Yeah, when they took off...
When we beat them at the very beginning, when we scared them off, they should have dropped something. That's what you brought up then, anyway.
Yeah, I should have dropped something. So what we ended up doing was, I think I ended up giving you, and I gave Bliss some like epic loot. Do you remember what you got?
No, I do not.
I'm going to have to go back through it because I still haven't edited the third part, but I know that one of you got a sandwich, and it was like a healing sandwich. It was something along those lines.
It could have been Bliss. He probably would have loved that. I don't know. I honestly can't remember what I got because I knew I wasn't going to be playing the character again. So I just kind of turned off the memory at that point.
Yeah. I'm going to have to edit the bloody thing and figure it out. But I do recall that like once the loot showed up, it was like, oh yeah, so here's a different element to how you roll the game or how you know, you roll the dice and stuff like that. I think it's one of the neat parts about the game too is that you have 10 slots of equipped gear. So you can carry extra loot, but you really only have 10 slots of equipable loot to get bonuses from, which is pretty neat.
It doesn't matter how much it weighs. That's nice.
There's none of that.
I didn't think there was any encumbrance.
No, you're not going to, you could pack around 10 suits of armor. What do I care? You know, tie them all together.
I got them layered up.
Yeah, tie them together with a rope and drag them behind you, whatever you want to do. Was there anything about the ICRPG, like when we were playing it, did you ever, you know how Jamie Pearson brings up the way Savage Worlds feels? Did you get some feels from ICRPG?
Well, no, I mean, it wasn't anything reminiscent of anything else. It didn't spark anything. Oh, this reminds me of anything. It was pretty much its own animal. Now, if question would be, and you have to play multiple genres in something to really say, okay, this handles this better, this handles this better, or for me, I like it this doing this better, which is really what we're all saying. You know, I only played the one game, so I don't really know.
Fair enough. The threat timer with the D4, that mechanic in itself, what did you think of that?
That was interesting. I've tried to incorporate that in some of the games that I've run since then, a couple of times, and trying with different die besides the D4. And because I thought the D4 while playing ICRPG was a little small. You got 4 rounds and something resolves, but playing it, trying to use it with other games and using like a D8 or a D6 or even a D10 one time. It seems like a D4 is the perfect size, believe it or not.
Wow.
Maybe a D6 every once in a while. If you really want to resolve something like far out, if you really like a long trek, if we were to do like a long trek through a desert or something like that, maybe even that. But honestly, the D4 was the perfect animal for that mechanic. Whether it needs to be used in every scene, I'm not sure. But that's, like I said, it's just the one occasion I've played, so I'm not sure.
I found that with 2 people, with just you and Bliss, and that D4, that basically was like putting my creative DMing or skills like on overdrive, because I just constantly had to think of something. You know, even if I rolled a 2 between the 2 of you, in 4 turns, I had to figure something out or make something happen.
And that's, I think, what I realized when I tried using a different die in a different system. I had 6 players at the table, so it's like I'm using a D6. Well, that's 36 actions before I figure something out, you know.
Yeah.
So even then, it was too much. I think the D4 is the perfect size for that, especially if you have a larger group.
That's
Maybe
cool.
Switch to a larger die if you have a smaller group.
No, that's really cool, and I'm glad that you incorporated that idea into your other games, because I think that's one of the things that I'm going to take to the table regardless of where I go. I just thought that was such a slick mechanic with the and I also actually kind of screwed that up, I have to sort of admit, because every time it was a threat. That timer thing can be a threat, it can be a treasure or something like that, or some kind of boon that happens. Like, it didn't always have to be worst case scenario. It could have been something good, maybe some loot, maybe a break, maybe something, right? But
yeah, but as players, I mean, do we ever expect something good to happen when there's a timer?
Yeah, that's gonna go against the learning curve for me in that game. The loot was one thing that I kind of really figured out near the end. We really should have incorporated some of that. There's some neat ideas for that. I really like the threat timer. And the other thing that I was going to ask you about was do you remember the end of the game with the chest? After the Anagev was destroyed and you guys had to get the dilithium crystal meth, that chest that showed up, it had an effort. There was a certain amount of stuff that you needed to do. You know, you had to pick the lock or spend so much time picking the lock. I think it was a 1 heart challenge. But so while you're smashing away, I think I had the timer set. Something bad was going to happen. You had X amount of rounds to get the dilithium crystal meth out of the back of the cave, and Bliss had the chest. And this is, it's like, I just knew that he would, nothing against him, but I just knew that whoever had the chest would just do whatever they could to try and open it up. And just...
Yeah, he was trying everything. And to me, it was, I don't know, having GM'd a lot, the chest right next to the item that you need for your MacGuffin, so to speak, just seemed like, I don't know, it was not something that I wanted to go after personally as a player. Maybe it was a little bit of metagame on my part, and then we couldn't get it. He couldn't get it. So at that point, I think that's when I picked it up and smashed it against the crystal meth and got the crystal meth and it open in the same shot.
Yeah. That totally happened, which was wicked. And I don't think he let go of it still. Like, even when you were smashing him into the frickin', he was like hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, I pictured that one as this, flying monkey screaming, flapping his wings as I'm throwing the thing around.
Oh, that's far too funny. All things said and done, that was a lot of fun. I actually appreciate you coming out and playing. Gil was hilarious. I'm having an absolute blast editing that thing. Do you like the way that I started the first one of the 3 out with you in the elevator?
Yeah, quoting me right out the get-go with Gil there.
It was fantastic, dude.
Gil was quite open right from the get-go that he was willing to do anything to get in the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing some other conversions and stuff. I just recently found out there's a Western setting called Ghost Mountain, and I think there might be another a pirate setting. I'm not sure, called Jewel of the something, but I got to look into them. I'm not sure when they're going to come out. Apparently, he's releasing a world primer or something, and that's supposed to be out in the middle of the month. So I mean, any day now. Hopefully, that'll be out. Yeah, and that was about it. I just had a couple of questions for you that I wanted to know, maybe get your feel on it, how you liked it, what you thought of it.
Sorry, my overall is it was fun. I would do it again. And yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun. Of course, I always have a lot of fun when I get a chance to play, being a GM all the time. So
yeah, it makes it, that's the thing too. And I think that even though it was our first shot into it, once we learn a few things, like maybe I should be giving out loot a little more often, that might actually increase the fun or the playability of the game. I would really like to try and switch something into, and I'm thinking I might, because December is rolling around. I don't know if you've done 5th edition 5e Tomb of Annihilation. I might convert that into ICRPG and start like a campaign in something along those lines, or even maybe try some 50 Fathoms, get some pirate action, because I'd like to try and get a campaign feel for the ICRPG, if we can get something along those lines worked out.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I've not done the Tomb of Annihilation. Just barely getting into some of the organized D&D play stuff. I haven't really been doing much. Mostly when I run homebrew stuff.
Yeah, you just sort of make your own. Yeah, well, I'm going to try and piece that together and see if I can't make something happen, because I'd really like to see how ICRPG pans out over sort of like a campaign setting and stuff. Might be interesting. So anyways, I appreciate you coming out.
On a day that I'm available, I would love to try again.
Yeah, it'll probably be like Sunday morning, something I'm thinking, something along those lines. I don't know. Well,
that's usually a good time for me.
Yeah, I don't want to make any promises or sort of piece anything together. But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming out and giving me your time. Thanks for playing. Gil, actually was a lot of fun to watch you do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, cool. All right, thanks, man. The Murder Hobo Show is not affiliated with or endorsed by any companies mentioned on this show. Any of the products mentioned on our show or appear on our website are the property and copyright of their respected owners. All items are used under fair use and educational and review purposes. All other items are the intellectual property of the Murder Hobo Show, copyright 2017, all rights reserved.